Okay, B, if you could fix that Twitter thing. I don't know if you see that. Hello, guys. Welcome to Bar Chat, brought to you by the Easy Breeze Bar and Restaurant, number one podcast for casual banter, although I'm not sure much banter we're going to get in on this particular episode. We might have some solid opinion, mind you. We are live on Facebook, hopefully Twitter. Don't know, just got a code there that say maybe not. YouTube. So please do like and share. Add some comments in if you can. And we'd love to hear from you. In some respects, I guess this is the podcast that none of us actually wanted to do. I seem to remember the last thing that we said on the before the game was, can't wait for the winning podcast. I have a feeling we may have come a little bit early, as the actress would say to the bishop. So we're going to reflect very briefly on the England game against Spain, but most importantly, obviously, the breaking news that came lunchtime today, which I think is pretty much as we expected, which is Gareth Southgate leaving the camp. So we have a new manager incoming, so we'll discuss that. Brilliantly, I have some mainstays now, I'd like to say. B's just finished his own football, so he's just dived in. You're all right, mate? How did you get on with the old soccer?
Yeah, all good. Love it.
When's your season start anyway?
First game. So I've got a game on Thursday, actually.
Pre-season.
And then we've got pre-season, yeah. And then our first game of the league is the 3rd of August.
Oh, well done, mate. You
feeling
very
fit early
and ready for the start of the season?
Yeah, I feel all right, to be honest. I'm, the holiday came in clutch, and I'm ready to go. Miss playing football. We've only, you know what? I tell you what, this season, I don't know why, but it feels like everything's starting really early. I don't know if you feel that way.
Well, do you know? I mean, Arsenal. I was listening to AFTV this morning, and Arsenal's pre-season tour. They go a week today. So I mean, there's no time for any of those boys that have been there to the final. They're straight out and on the road and to America. So not the best planning. I'd have thought they'd have made us sort of maybe do a tour in Europe versus go so far. But hey, it is what it is. Rooney's with us. How are you, mate?
Very well, Mark. Very well. Got over the crushing disappointment of the other night.
Yeah,
we're used to it, aren't we? We're pretty resilient and expectant in a lot of cases, but it was still disappointing. I still, as I say, felt we could have got more out of the game if we played differently, if we subbed differently, and a same old story.
Yeah, we'll get it into it a second. Matty's with us as well. Matty, how are you, mate? Obviously, not the best circumstances to tune in again, mate. But listen, it is what it is. As Rooney says, we've been here a couple of times.
A couple of times before.
I know, but you're all good, mate.
Yeah, I'm all good. Yeah,
good.
You know, we had a couple of messages the other day, and you said you're having a little bit of a 24-hour sulk. I was exactly the same. It was going through my head, and like I said to you in the message, and same old, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
You thought we'd be used to it by now.
No, we're never going to use. Do you know what it is? I looked at a video. Jeanette, one of the Jeanette Hughes, who Paul and I were watching the game with her and her husband Billy, and she took a video of us when Foden scored, and the elation. Because we all thought it was game over, didn't we? With only 15 minutes left, and this is the thing that does it to us, because it was only 7 minutes later, and they'd gone ahead again when we're just completely exposed. And that's the roller coaster of being an England fan. And I think that, you'd like to say you'd contain some of that, wouldn't you? But, when we score and you do start to believe, it is like catnip.
When you say Foden, you mean Palmer?
Yeah, man.
Palmer. Yeah, it's one of them. But B, I was going to say to you, because I saw you at full time and you were just sat there. I looked at you, and you didn't even move your eyes. It was just like, I cannot believe it. But I saw you at halftime. You were really confident at halftime. You went, mate, chill, stop worrying. And I saw you at full time. What do you think happened? You were so confident at halftime. What do you think happened that went wrong? I mean,
I was really confident, and I don't think much went wrong, to be honest. I just think for me, and 5 games, 6 games, Phil Foden, obviously it just wasn't working, like the Phil Foden and Jude Bellingham. And I was just waiting and waiting. I thought Harry Kane came off in the 60th minute. I celebrated that. And I thought, here it is, Anthony Gordon, the first time he's going to play for about, 15, 20 minutes. because we went into a 4-4-2, as you say, and that would have just been perfect for him, just to run at the defender.
Did we start 4-4-2? Because that's what they were saying. I thought we hadn't, but did we start at a 4? Because it was definitely Bellingham on the left for what most of I can remember the game.
Yeah, we started in the 4-2-3-1 just to match them up. But what they had 2 wingers, and what we had one winger. So we had Jude on the left hand side. But I just that was like my thing. I thought, fair enough if you're going to start like that. But if it's not working, get a winger on, go 2 wingers on either side, and let's get at them.
Yeah,
and that's what we.
I think one of the major talking points, and we talked about it a lot during the games, and now it's over. It's a slightly different narrative, and that was very much that, was Kane unfit or has he gone? Is it just now he's 30? I heard Lineker talking the other day when he got to 31, he realised, and that's why he quit international football. That he said he just knew that he didn't have the legs anymore. Matt, have you got a thing on Kane? I mean, what's your thoughts? In hindsight?
I think there's lots of people saying that he didn't get over his back injury. So if he's carrying an injury or even if his legs have gone, don't play him, or start him and change him earlier. Give him half hour, see if he can just get a goal and change it. Like B said earlier about the wingers, we've had unbalance all tournament. So why put Bellingham on the left? It's just, and they're talking about knighting Southgate. How can you knight the guy? I don't understand it. Give him an OBE for services to sport or something like that. But don't for bringing the nation together, bringing the team together. But don't knight the bloke. He's got it wrong. He's played the big time Charlies. I think one of the podcasts we did was about the big time Charlies. He's played the big time Charlies, but he's played them all out of position. And it hasn't worked. And with Kane, he just wasn't right. So he should have been dropped. I think we all know he should have been dropped.
Paul, Kane.
Yeah, I was thinking about this today. And as a player, clearly you want to play in as many games as you can. But if you're injured, you're actually cheating not just the squad, you're cheating the fans as well. And it will be interesting to know. Yeah, as people's autobiographies come out now, it'll be interesting to get on the skin of who knew what when, because clearly he took Luke Shaw knowing he was crocked. And if he knew Kane was 50, 60% crocked, he took a compromised squad. But worse than that, played the weaker elements persistently. So I think it'll all come out in the wash, and there's all this talk about run-ins in the camp and Bellingham mouthing off to Southgate and telling him to stop playing Kane for so long. Again, all rumours at this stage, but I dare say it will come out in the wash in the media over the next few weeks, given that Southgate's gone now.
So do you think... Sorry, go on, Mark.
Yeah. I was going to say Gary Neville responded to those rumours today and said that, he was in Berlin for 5 weeks, and the rumours unsubstantiated, he did say, I must say. But he said the word on the street was there was some kind of disagreement between Southgate and some of the players as to the way that we were going about it, whether that was formation or whatnot. So I definitely think there's some substance to all of that. And, listen, all those players were doing, in my mind, is saying what the other 60 million people in England have been saying, which is play people in the right position, pick the right team, don't be so stubborn with your way, and I think, I said this before. I saw Arteta when he came to Arsenal initially from City. He wanted to play the City way. I can't even remember. B, you're better at this than me, but the team, the players he's had just were not good enough to play that system. And this is very much the other way round, in that he has players that are front foot, forward-thinking players to then go out and play that system, really a 4-4-2, didn't suit them. And
I think you said it before, Matt. the thing is, I think the repeated question was, why are they in a low block? Why are they in a low block? None of them do that for their club. It's not instinctive for any of them. Therefore, they've got to have been instructed to do that.
Well, my opinion. Yeah. Sorry, can I just say my opinion on that is, if you are going to play in a low block, then play to the player's strengths in a way. So if you're going to have Kane that's going to drop deep, give him two lads that's going to run past him. If you're going to play in a low block, why don't you play Trent, because he's already protected? Apparently he can't defend, but if you're in a low block, everyone's compact. You know, when you need to go forward, who can find the pass? It would be Trent. So it's like play to your strengths, which is, you know, it's something that Southgate missed. He missed the trick there.
I think you're right. I mean, I saw a couple of other points. Is that, you know, there were lots of people saying, listen, this isn't a Southgate problem, this is an England problem. And one of the points they're making is this isn't just through the Southgate era that we play with the handbrake on until we go behind, and then we wake up, score a goal and sit back again. And that was the story of the tournament. You know, 96th minute goal, 92nd minute goal, always going behind before we got going. And but for my money, you see, I always describe that not in relation to previous, but in relation to this, which is we are much better on the front foot. And if we play on the front foot, we can make it happen. And what he wasn't wanting to do was play on the front foot. And as a result, you know, it's no surprise to me that it started coming into play when we were, you know, and that's just the way he set up the team. I've just seen Skinner here. I want in on this convo. Mate, you can please do comment, Mike. We're interested to know your expletives about Southgate, and that obviously you've never wanted in there for a long time. The other thing I heard today, guys, with Allardyce, think what you want, is he said he thinks it's gone full circle. He said today that whilst it's become a nicer place to play, like nobody wanted to play for England, then everyone played for England. His suggestion was they've lost a bit of guile. Like maybe we're all a bit too nice. You know, who's the Keane, the Vieira, even the Steven Gerrard, if you like, but certainly the former. Who's the bloke in there that's pulling everyone together and you know, having a bit of holler at someone if they're not tracking back, or get, you know, who's in there, and have they got too nice? I mean, that's another interesting one, Matt.
I think Bellingham is the one in the middle that can be a bit nasty. He can put it about a bit, and he can be a bit nasty, and he can, you know, we saw that in a couple of games when he won some tackles and shoulder barging the opposition after the tackle, and I think he's the one that can be a bit nasty, but he didn't have a good. But I don't think Bellingham had a good tournament. But I think he's the one. I think he will be the future leader. I think he will be next England captain. But he like I say, he didn't have a good tournament. But yeah, I just think there's no real guile in there. There's no. He won't shout and bellow at players. Like you say, the Keane and Vieiras and like really shouting at the lads to get them going. A real leader. Matt, he's a leader, but not to that extent.
I just want to ask, Matt, do you think it's necessary though? I mean, I don't think. I mean, you look at Spain. Spain don't have that, do they? Really? They just have a way of playing, and you know, they all buy into their way of playing.
Maybe, maybe you're right, B. Maybe it's just an old-fashioned. I'm probably quite a bit older than you, B. But maybe it's an old-fashioned. Maybe it's an old-fashioned way. You just need that leader just to pull you over the line.
I think there's leader and there's edge, isn't there? I mean, Rodri is the clear standout leader in the centre mid for Spain, and a lot of things happening around him. But one thing that came up on TalkSport today, they were talking about Danny Carvalho was voted #1 shithouse for all his antics, all tournament. But from a perspective of analysing why he does it, he was saying he's an expert in game management. He was after Saka within minutes, rubbing his eyes, saying, pretending to cry because he'd fouled him. He tactically took 2 yellows in the previous game before he was banned, because if he got a red, he'd been banned for the final. And they were going through everything he'd done and just saying, when you've got somebody like that in the team, a lot of people know he's watching the game, the outcome, not just his position, not just his play. And he's nasty. He's a nasty guy, and I think we certainly don't have that.
No.
I agree. Skinner's saying we love England, not just Southgate. Cole Palmer is the future. I think he's probably got a very valid point. I think he is. I mean, again, you got a problem there where I'd have played him in the Foden role. You know, I don't know. Is that where he came on? He did, didn't he? When he did come on, he played that inside. Right role.
No. Well, no, he took Mainu off, didn't he? For Palmer.
Yeah.
So
he went.
I actually don't know where he played him. I mean, I felt bad for Declan Rice, to be honest. He's been slated all tournament, but he's been playing on his own in midfield the whole time. Well, until Mainu arrived, but
Yeah.
I think Mainu had a good tournament. To be fair, he was quiet in the final, but I think the other games that he played, I think Mainu had a good tournament. There's no question we've got exceptional talent coming through for the next tournaments coming up. The youngsters coming through, but it's getting the right manager in to utilise those players and like we always say, play them in their best positions and to their best potential.
I agree. Well, listen, we're going to move on to Southgate. One of the questions I wanted to ask before we, get into it, because I think, listen, we do need to give him some flowers. I saw an analogy the other day or was yesterday or something, likening him to, having a sort of a 100-meter relay team in the Olympics. He's taken us off the blocks where we had to start again with after the Iceland defeat in 2016. He's ran a couple of legs, and it's very evident now that we need a Usain Bolt or a Carl Lewis or a Linford Christie for those who are a little bit older. Someone who's going to do that final leg and carry his legacy. He's not without reward, and maybe he is very self-aware. Maybe he knows that he's done it twice. He can't get us in that spot, and maybe he's got the graciousness, if you like, to say, that he's going to that he's happy to hand it over. But that is exactly what it needs to do. Exactly, pass on the baton. But the question I had for you was, where does Southgate sit in the kind of legacy of England managers? He's been there now, 8 years. Where does he sit for you guys? Rooney, I'll ask you. Does he sit after Alf Ramsey? Is he done more than the likes of Venables and Bobby Robson? And where does he sit?
Two views in there. One is the statistical view, which is absolutely unchallengeable. He's been the most successful manager in England terms since Sir Alf Ramsey won it. That's without doubt. But how many tournaments has he built such a strong rapport with the fans, with the players, so that you felt he was a true figurehead for the team and a true personality? You think about Keegan when he had a time, massively unsuccessful but passionate about the job. El Tel as well, when he was in charge, players absolutely loved him, thrived through 96. That energy and that kind of true alignment of everybody, I don't think has always been there with Southgate. It's been toned down, it's been low key, it's been slightly woke in terms of what the FA want to present. They put him in front of the cameras. They're never going to get an argument or a heated discussion. He's going to toe the party line, and that's what they've enjoyed since bringing him through from the back end. But in terms of statistic, it stands out for itself. He is the most successful. But I think you take this tournament, we had this comment the other day, we were in the final in spite of Southgate rather than because of him. And that's how it felt. So the stats don't lie. He got us there. Do I think that squad was capable of more? Absolutely. If it was managed differently, if we were bolder, if we played our natural style of football that most of those guys play for their club. But I think statistically, it doesn't lie. He is the most successful.
Well, listen, Guy, I'm going to do a first here before we go any further. We've had Skinner, he's berating us on comments to have his point said on Southgate. So I'm going to chuck him on the stage. It looks like he's walking along.
He's in Spain, isn't he?
I can't even see you. I can't see you.
You can't see us. Well, we can see you, mate. Well, we've tried our best to get Southgate to sign on for another few years. Are you in? You down with that?
That's
or
you, not me.
What's your thoughts then, mate?
I was in Spain for the final, and the atmosphere was unreal. I was gutted England got beat, but I'd rather be in Spain when England get beat than in England. To be fair,
So where are
the
you
atmosphere
now?
was so much better.
Where are you actually calling from?
I'm on a yacht in Valencia.
Mate, you're a wanker.
I can't even see you. I don't know how to see you.
Well,
Turn your camera
I
on.
don't know. It doesn't matter. Turn your camera landscape, though. I will say that, because then we can see what's around you. You don't
I can't see nothing right now.
Oh well, don't worry, mate.
I've just got a black screen in front of me.
So very quick. It won't turn. Don't worry about it. So mate. So listen. We won't keep you long.
Yeah.
Obviously, we don't want to keep you away from too much San Miguel. But you have heard the news this morning. He has resigned.
I was buzzing. To be fair, I was buzzing.
Yeah, mate,
he shouldn't have been there for this Euros. He shouldn't have been there for the World Cup. I've never rated him. Never will rate him. He's defensive. And I said this to you in years ago. I said this on the first ever chat. I said he should not be England manager. The minute we play anyone decent, they beat us.
Do you think?
And again,
do you think he's brought us a certain distance? We were just trying to give him some flowers there.
No,
Skinner.
No, not even a little bit. Because the minute we played anyone decent, they beat us. And Spain winning like they're a 16-year-old kid. 16-year-old kid. You look at the whole England team. We had all these players that were the best players in the world. What they have, a 16-year-old kid? And Cucurella at left back. That's all they had.
Rodri.
And the Beatles. I'm sorry, but Southgate never ever in Southgate.
So who do you want next, mate?
I'd take Eddie Howe.
Eddie Howe, but Eddie Howe, Potter, aren't we just getting the same thing again?
I don't think we are, because I think that Potter was never any good at Chelsea, so I wouldn't take him. Eddie Howe is an attacking manager, and I think he could do a job. Klopp's available.
They got a higher tactical ceiling than Southgate, all of them, don't they? So that's all we really need. Just people that can see the game for what it is.
Sorry, Klopp. USA want Klopp.
USA want. I've heard they want Southgate.
Well, why can't England get Klopp?
No idea.
USA want Klopp.
Yeah, but why? I mean, there's no reason for Klopp to go there other than they're hosting the World Cup in 2 years, and therefore he probably would be wealthily weighed in on it, wouldn't it? But
I
mean, he would never manage England because he's a Liverpool manager, and we all know that Scousers aren't English.
Yeah. Well, on that wonderful note, mate.
Let's be honest. Scousers aren't English.
I think one tip I would give you, mate, is I reckon a bit of sun cream might be the first move for you. looking a little bit burned, mate.
It's 40 degrees here at the minute.
Well, mate, you have an incredible mate. Thank you. Listen, thank you for chiming in. It did make me laugh when we saw you there. Have an incredible holiday. When are you home?
26th, I think.
What? Not 2026 or how long are you going for?
I wish. No, 26. 26 this month.
Well, come in and see us have a beer, mate. Send our regards to everyone.
On the Friday night, I'll be in.
All right, bud.
Take it easy, guys. See you in a bit.
See you later. See ya.
Well, there's a first, chaps. A bit of a dial-in. We're obviously doing something. Well, anyway, so listen. Well, I was going to just fly through some odds with you. I saw today. I think it is on. I got them via. I think it's with who's the betting partner with TalkSport? Do we know? Anyone know?
Bet365.
Is it Bet365?
Yeah.
So Potter is in fact 2-1. Lee Castley 3-1. Eddie Howe 5-1. Pochettino 6-1. Klopp 8s, Tuchel 8-1, and Lampard is at 12s.
Oh my God, Lampard, Jesus! He needs to stay home.
The funniest one I heard, this might go over your head, B, but the funniest one I heard was I was looking on Twitter, and bloke, when asked who the next England manager should be, some bloke chimed in and says, "I think we should get Les Dennis, because if he could talk Amanda Holden into coming home with him, he can definitely talk football to coming home." So I'm all for Les Dennis. Let's get him in the betting.
Let's get him in.
But out of those guys, Potter, Carsley, Howe, Pochettino, Klopp, Tuchel, Lampard, are we all saying Howe? Is that what we're all saying?
I am.
I want Lee Carsley personally. Yeah.
My question to you then, B, is my only concern about, and you know, I know nothing about him, but everyone's raving about him, is that did he look after the likes of Bellingham when they were in the youth setup? Because being a complete unknown, my fear is what respect is he going to get from these top, Ballon d'Or like players? I don't know who he is. I mean, who's it? I mean, he's a very forward-thinking manager, I hear, but anyone know much about him?
No, nothing at all.
No, don't know much about him, but what I do know is that he's won before, and that's all you need. I mean, Southgate never won anything. Potter has never won anything. He's won the
under-21s.
Under-21s,
Euros, which is the same model as the Spanish manager, because they brought him through from winning under-17s, 19s, and 21s, I think.
Yeah, but the Spanish manager's got a lot more years on him. He's been a manager for 20 years. He's been a manager for 20 years. Carsley's not been a manager for that long. So I fear with Carsley, when the chips are down, will he know what to do? Will he have the nous and the managerial experience at the moment to be able to change things for the right reasons?
He's been a manager for a good.
He's only like
7, 8 years.
He's only like 39.
Still a baby.
No, he's 50, Lee Carsley. He's an old man.
I thought he was 39.
He's older than you.
Steady on, son, with the old man.
I just think for Carsley in the future maybe, but at the moment I think he's still a baby managerial wise.
Yeah, I mean, there's a massive area, enormous field between winning the under-21s and taking England to a World Cup. Surely to God.
Well, yeah. I don't know, Mark. I think what he did very well in the 21s is give the players. Well, first of all, he played to the players' strengths, and the second thing is he played two wingers. That's all we need to see. That's all we need to see. I mean, Spain did it. They played two wingers. One's 17, the other one's 22, both rapid, and that's all we need.
Yeah,
it's not that difficult. The players will deal with it themselves. Jude Bellingham will deal with it himself.
I think it's interesting because there was a question raised on TalkSport today, and it was, do elite players need and deserve an elite manager for the national squad, or is the best available English manager good enough? And when you put it like that, it does make you think, and everyone they interviewed went one way or the other. Many were for getting the best equipped manager in, irrespective of nationality, and more concentrating on track record and respect. And I guess if it has been that Bellingham's blown up because he's had run-ins with Southgate and doubted Southgate, how much of that will persist? I mean, if you put Potter, Carsley, Howe, Southgate and Keir Starmer in a room in a personality competition, I couldn't tell you who'd win, and I wouldn't have a bet on it.
Yeah. So, what are your guys' thoughts on foreign managers and coaches and back staff? I'm a firm believer. You play for your country because you're that nationality. Why then can you have managers and your coaching staff of different nationalities?
Yeah,
coaching and managing your team. I
agree.
Why isn't there not a rule that your manager and coaching staff are English?
Yeah,
and for the Argentinian team, your coaching. Yeah,
look at Belgium coach now gone to Portugal, Martinez. Yeah, it starts to get a bit stupid. I mean, even me seeing, Thierry Henry, in the dugout for Belgium a couple of years back, it just looks a bit ridiculous. And I agree. I think if it's an even playing field, you find the best English players with the best English management team. Otherwise, let's just go and get bloody Messi or something. We need a forward. Let's just go and get him. Why not? Doesn't matter.
Yeah, I don't get the ruling. It's like Hasselbank. Hasselbank's our striker coach.
Yeah, I don't get it.
So where's his loyalties lie when we played Holland?
Yeah.
Look, I don't understand. I don't. I think it should just be your players are English, so they play for England. Your coach managers and coaching staff are English, so you can coach England.
I don't think that's a bad rule. And if I had to pick from the list, I'd probably go Howe from the English managers available. But you do have to, I think, also reflect and recognise that if Eddie Howe's not won anything, and he hasn't, then to be in big games with big competition, what has he got kahunas-wise to fall back to that he knows works for him? So you could always say we could potentially have the best players in the world, but a reasonable but average manager of the national team. Yeah. And then is that going to work?
I mean, if you like, my thing is when I think back at Spain from 2008 to 2012 when they won everything, I feel like I looked at that team, and even Barcelona's team, they managed themselves. They knew they knew what they were doing. They had an idea of how to play, and the manager, in a way, just had to put the players in the right positions on the pitch, and that's what they did.
But I was going to say, you can almost. I mean, these are elite players, right? You can sit in a room with them and go, right, boys, where do you want to play? What system do you want to play that you think you will play to your best potential? And listen to them. Try it out in training. And that could be the next bit. It could be the fix.
And use your friendlies. I mean, I really didn't understand the last two friendlies that we had. He was playing Maddison. He was playing Grealish. Like, what's the point in doing that? He was playing Trent right back. He's playing Trent right back, and in the first game in the Euros, he plays Trent in midfield. And he doesn't take Grealish, and he doesn't take Maddison. So
I don't think he really knew what his team was when he first walked into it. Do you?
No, I don't think so.
I don't think he did. But is that not quite damning, given the amount of time he's been with the setup?
100%. Did he know how fit people were? Was he hoping to? I don't understand. At this point, I don't understand the Grealish thing.
I imagine if you're an established England player and you're carrying an injury, I imagine those data reports go immediately to the national manager. I'd be amazed if they're kept in the dark and reliant on the players say so.
Well, there must be the medical teams of the clubs talking to the internationals and saying, these X, Y fit. I mean, he hadn't played one game, had he? Shaw, for example.
No.
He cameoed quite well, but when he did start, particularly on Sunday, there was, he didn't shine, did he?
I definitely agree. I agree with you, Matt. Though I definitely just sit down in the room. I mean, this is what I mean. I think you could. I mean, Paul. I mean, for me, I already said get Paul in the England management team because it could really be that simple. You just need to understand the lads, listen to them, and then yes, you have to make certain decisions. As in, when the player wants to stay on, you might have to be bold enough to say, no, look, this is what's best for the team. Let's get you off and let's get this player on.
And I think if you look at that needs a level of maturity, doesn't it, and professionalism from everybody to get the best out of everybody. And I think the nearest probably system to that was probably Terry Venables in '96, where it was a very close squad. They loved the manager. The manager listened to them, listened to ideas that they had as well, rather than dictated. And I think, as we've seen from some of the matches, the go-to response from those players in the Premier League is different all day long, every day, than how they were asked to respond. Goal down, goal up, whatever it was not how they play for the clubs.
I mean, you've got another problem. I've just seen a message there from Paul Fallows. who says, why was Kane playing when he was contributing next to nothing, is that if you had a senior management team, as you're discussing, Kane as captain as well, would have been at the forefront of that senior management team. And I would fundamentally tell you that I think, like most would say, he was one of the biggest problems next to Southgate.
Yeah.
What was he? Why was he playing?
Do you think he thinks it's his last tournament and he really wanted to play, rather than saying, actually, do you know what? I'm unfit. Bring me on later on in the game.
I think it works both ways, though. Can you imagine the amount of scrutiny he would have gotten if England captain doesn't play?
Yeah.
No, but willingly doesn't play. So not even as in Southgate dropped him, as in Kane has come out and said, "Boys, I'm not going to play today. You boys play," and blah blah blah. Can you imagine the scrutiny?
But I get it. But on the other term, if it's for the best for the team and the best chance of winning a major competition, would you not do that for the team? And
Yeah. I mean, imagine if he did it and we won it, he'd be the biggest hero, wouldn't he? Without playing.
Exactly. Yeah.
But listen, I understand, Matt. You made the point a minute ago. This isn't a Bellingham situation or a Saka or a lot of those players. This is Kane won't be in the team in 2 years' time. This was his last chance to win a trophy. It's the same for Kyle Walker. He won't be in the team. Who else is there that we don't? Pickford, probably not. Maybe.
I thought Pickford earlier.
Yeah, Trippier won't be. Trippier won't be there.
No.
So you can understand that if you're 75%, and we've all been there, haven't we? I mean, we've all had important games. Doesn't matter if it's Sunday football or whatever. The gaffer turns around and says, "Are you fit?" You're like, "Yeah, 100%, mate." I mean, you're not going, "Oh yeah, well, but not sure." Back's a bit of you're not. You're in. And so I don't really hold it against him on that front, but it is the responsibility of the manager. Back to Paul, if you were the manager, it's your responsibility to listen to that senior management team. But when they're not performing, you've got to have the balls to say, "Look, mate, you're off, you're on."
Yeah, and I think that I think it's very difficult to think you get a problem with this from the squad with that approach. You get respect from the squad because they'd see that you were doing it for the benefit of all. But he's a favourite. He's an FA favourite. He's the pin-up kind of captain. He's been with England for a long time now. Until he got injured in Germany, he had a cracking season. Then he didn't win anything, but he knocked in the goals for fun. But then it all stopped when he was injured, and he came in from that injury clearly crocked. And that's I struggle with that as an individual, as a manager.
I heard someone saying that Kane, I can't remember who it was, said it now, is the most successful. I don't know if they said England player or England centre forward ever.
He is, and he's up there with Gert Muller and players of that ilk in the Hall of Fame.
Because
that's all historic.
Because of the goals he scored.
Yeah, goals he scored for the country. Yeah.
But how many important goals has he actually scored? I mean, but nowadays, the likes of Jimmy Greaves or whatever we were talking about in the past, they were we now play these stupid games. San Marino in October at Wembley. Yeah. Somehow 80,000 people turn up. I have no idea how. We play these shit. I mean, okay. So he scored 100 and I don't know how many he scored now.
He's often in tournaments though. If he hasn't got the golden boot, he's been up there, hasn't he? So whenever he's been in a tournament previously, he's been getting 4 or 5 goals in a tournament, which is normally good enough.
Did he win the golden boot in this competition?
No, I don't think he did.
I'm sure he got it.
He won it in the last one though, didn't he?
Yeah, he did. Yeah, was it a split? Let's have a look. Who won the golden?
I think that last I saw, there were 3 or 4 people on 3 goals. I got a feeling someone scored 4.
I don't know where I saw it.
Harry Kane did win it. Yeah,
he did win it.
Yeah, he did. Yeah. Well, it was shared amongst 6, but yeah, he did win it.
Right.
Yeah,
okay. and there you're probably looking at a key motivation before the game. He's thinking, I want the golden boot. Gareth, I want this golden boot. And fit enough, play me. There'll have been that going on as well from self-interest.
I'll be honest though, right? I think again, it does lead back to the manager. I think if you do have a sharp shooter like Kane, you have to play him to his strengths. If he's going to drop in, make it so that you're going to have a tactic that, say, if Jude plays in the 10, that when Kane drops in, that Jude runs past him, that Saka runs past him, that Gordon runs past him. And then suddenly, and then also, then you have to tell Kane as well that after he has played that pass, to get in the box.
Get in there. Yeah.
Yeah. And so, like, that comes from the manager as well. I think, like, in that aspect, he might have gotten a bit too much freedom and such, like, oh, go do what you want. You go and defend in right back, go and defend in left back. Because no one needed him to do that.
No. But I think our strength in that squad was, like, definitely our attacking force was probably the best in the tournament. That was our big plus. And we never utilised it. We never utilised it how we should have done. It was a waste. It was a waste of the squad that he took, really.
And that's why it's so disappointing, though, isn't it?
Yeah.
That's why I mean, all of them. I mean, Kane's top goal scorer. I mean, Jude, top goal scorer. Foden, top goal scorer. Saka, top goal scorer and assister. So it's like Cole Palmer. I mean, you can keep going and going and going, can't you?
Yeah.
I mean, Paul's fellows say, 6 people shared the goal, but I think the point he's making there is when 6 other blokes have done it, come on. It's not, he scored 3 goals, but we got to the final, for Christ's sake. I mean, do you know the damning fact that we never talked about, and this is just typical, is this the British media or is this just us getting so carried away with England? Is, when you look at it on paper and you go, Spain had 7 games. They won 7 games. We had 7 games. We won 2. I mean, actually, when you look at it like that, and we were in the Farmers League side of the draw.
I mean,
when you look at it like that, you just got to go. You got to go. Actually, it's shite.
We definitely had the rub of the green, and if we and our side of the fixtures of the tournament, if we didn't get to the final, then Jesus Christ, what would be this conversation be about?
Yeah, I mean that's what I think in the last few tournaments, I think Southgate has gotten lucky because every time we've gotten through is because he's playing against a team that's not in the top 10 in the world. Every time we play someone half decent, we do get beat. That's the problem. Yeah. I just thought this game and this final, because that Spain team wasn't the best of sides. I thought this was the one. I thought this was the chance.
But do you remember we were saying exactly the same thing last time?
Yeah, we did have a chance when we equalised. We were then on the front foot, but then for a few minutes, but then all of a sudden
until we scored. But Matt, until we scored again, then we got it level and backed off again.
Yeah.
What happened down the left there? Who was exposed? Because Nico Williams was on his own when he crossed that. I mean, the forward got across.
Both goals were exposed down the right-hand side.
Yeah. As Cucurella got slightly in front of Walker, got the cross across. Gaya was slightly behind their striker. So they both exposed.
Have you guys seen the video footage that the VAR was the wrong way round? So when they did the VAR and the lines were wrong, so Gay on the VAR was in a red shirt and the Spanish player was in a white shirt. Have we seen this?
No.
On the VAR,
I don't even think
someone's done the line.
I thought it was offside.
This is so English, though, isn't it?
As soon as they scored, I thought it was offside.
Yeah.
No, I thought he was. I actually genuinely in real play. I think I turned to you and said, "I think he's off."
Yeah. I agree.
They didn't play. They didn't show us the graphic till about 25 minutes later.
Yeah.
No,
you're right.
I sat here with the kids.
Come on, you've got to join in with the English conspiracy
theory. No, I'm not doing it. we got a penalty against Holland, which is absolute robbery. You can't. It was onside. The technology's showing it. It was sharp. It was quick. It was done like that.
Too quick, too sharp.
Too quick, too sharp. Good goal. You wanted them to take on that one. You, as an England fan, you want them to take 5 minutes, don't you? And go, I need to go to the screen.
His toenails offside here.
Draw a couple of lines like in the Premier League.
Yeah. Deary me. Well, guys, listen. I think we're knocking 45 minutes. It's been. Look, I firstly want to say we've had some good fun. It's been good doing these Euros, and hopefully you boys will continue to stay with us. B and I will be actually just much about this, but we, as of next, hello Meredith, as of next Monday, or certainly next week, we're going to start our podcast series, sort of 2, if you like, into Bar Chat, where we're looking at the pre-season special. So we'll cover some transfers, look at some of these away friendly games as we build towards the Premier League. It's only 4 weeks away, so we've not got a long distance. The opening game, Manchester United, Fulham. I'll touch on it now. Matty, I mean, United, they seem to be rumoured to sign every player that might even half be available. Manchester United seem to be in the mix for. What would you like to see? Who would you like to see them get their hands on between now and thanks, Meredith. Now and the start of the season?
I'd rather go for an experience in De Ligt. I know he's still young, but he's got more experience than Branthwaite. I'd like to see De Ligt come in. There's rumours of the guy from PSG set in central midfield. Ugarte.
Rabiot.
No, not Rabiot. Ugarte.
Oh, I don't know him.
Yeah, no, I've nothing. I've no idea about him at all. I'm a bit puzzled with. I mean, watching highlights of Xerxes that we've signed up top. He looks a decent finisher, but again, he's another young forward. I would like to have seen an experienced player come in to teach Højlund the ropes. Sancho is a rumour to stay, and him and Ten Hag have had a long chat and brushed their differences aside. So I don't know, but we lost our first pre-season friendly 1-0 last night to some Mickey Mouse team. I don't know, but it was. I mean, it was. There was quite a lot of kids out, so I'll use that as an excuse.
Liverpool. Are you? What would you like to see come in? Are you pleased about the new manager, by the way? What's your thoughts there? I don't know anything about him. Who knows anything about him?
Yeah, I mean, he's. I think it's difficult, isn't it? I mean, it's almost a little bit like what happened after Ferguson position and how badly United got that wrong. Continue to get it wrong. So I think they've gone for somebody who plays a similar style as perhaps a 2-year job and see how he gets on. If he hits the ground running, it might be a different story, but it's going to be, I said, in one sense, quite similar, because having looked at some of the football he played last year in the Dutch league, retrospectively, it is similar. It's, high pressing football, pace. I think he's already hinted that he's not massively a Nunes fan, which I'm not surprised, because if a new manager's coming in and you risk your first season on a third season of Nunes not being anywhere near the finished article, then he's hurting you. So that might be interesting. I have heard, we sniffed around Ollie Watkins as a Nunes replacement. Don't know if there's anything in that. Be a big supporter of that if that is the case. And then let's face it, we had a squad last year that kind of hung in there until the last 5 weeks, really, then just ran out of steam. So I'm expecting us to be competitive. I'm glad we're back in the Champions League.
Mate? What do you feel that you need position-wise?
Well, we've got to deal with the Salah position. He's got 12 months, is it now, left? So if he's going to Saudi, probably now is the time to do it. I was a massive fan of Eze and Elise. I think Elise's gone. I didn't see where he'd gone, but I saw flash up somewhere.
He's gone to Munich,
He's gone to Munich, that's a big move. Yeah, not surprised. So I don't know. I think there'll be changes. I think probably over the next fortnight or so. Now the tournament's died down, it'll start to happen. But excited to be back.
Paul Fallows in the quote says, "Up the foreign Scouser." That's one foreign Scouser to another.
Yeah.
I mean, he's not from nowhere near bloody Liverpool either. So he's saying, "I'll be happy with top 4." Would you share with that, or would you think you can go a bit further this season?
I think top 4. Arsenal, you'd think they're going to strengthen, and we couldn't keep up with them last season. City are City. How do you keep up with them ever? So yeah, I mean, a 3rd place finish, I think, in Slot's first season would be a great achievement. But let's see. There's a lot of teams getting stronger. Yeah, and the top 10 last year. You know, I mean, the teams that are pushing in there. There's it's the old adage in it, and I know it's an overused phrase, but there's no easy games in the Premier League. None. No easy games. So
yeah, Villa have lost a couple of their stars though, so you know they might drop off.
Louise has gone. He went somewhere, didn't he?
And I mean, if Watkins goes, then you know suddenly they're a different team, aren't they? But I was
all right. They signed Barkley, didn't they? That's all right. It's all
Yeah, I mean he's 30 odd. I was gonna say, I just wanted to say to Matt, I hope United do sign the Licht, because I'd love to see a bag free of Johnny Evans, the Licht, and Maguire. Oh my word!
Well, do you know Johnny Evans has signed a new contract?
I know he has. Yeah, I know. I think even Mark could play up front against them three. Like, he'll have a go.
His nose would be offside with those lines. Those lines, his nose would be well offside.
Jesus.
Yeah, I've just checked the betting on Southgate's next job.
Go on.
And it's 2-1 to be Man United manager, so I'd be delighted at that.
Oh my God.
Apparently Dave Brailsford and Ratcliffe are massive fans of Southgate.
Oh, really?
Well, Brailsford, no, who's the guy that came from Newcastle to be our
the sporting director?
Paid $8 million for.
Yeah, he's good mates with Southgate.
Oh dear.
That's 3 good mates at the club then.
Well, mate, I tell you what, mate, you've got something to look forward to.
Listen, I'm gonna become a Chertsey Town supporter, I think.
Yeah, I don't blame you. Just going back to where we were, B, just to finish off on the kind of what we're looking forward to. Arsenal, what would you like to see come in at the hallowed turf?
Yeah, I'd like to see some ball strikers, some pure ball strikers. I mean, someone like Cole Palmer would do us nicely, you know. Not that we'd ever get him, but you know, need some ball strikers, people who can actually shoot the ball, if that makes sense. You know, like Kai Havertz when he hits the ball and doesn't, you know, it's not flying. And even with the likes of Saka, it's not really flying sometimes. So it's like, just want to see someone who can really purely hit a ball, and you know, the chances will be there.
Centre forward, maybe another winger is my thoughts.
Centre forward, left winger, and obviously Arteta to stay, and that should probably be enough.
Very good, chaps. Well, look, Meredith, you can say hello now because we're going to go.
Finally.
Yeah, right. Yeah. She's basically. You probably noticed her dancing the entire time behind, but it's right. All that anyway. Brilliant, guys. Listen, well, again, thank you all for all your support during, and everyone else that's commented and been on the shows for the Euros. It is just the beginning. We're gonna get into the Premier League, and hopefully all you guys can be part of that starting next week. And we'll go from there. And I guess at that other point, it's, you know, the England shirts are off for another couple of years. Hopefully we'll still get all in. We'll all be able to get into them in another couple of years. And Spain sucks, yeah. You know, it'd be interesting to watch this space and see who it is. I think we're all pretty sure it's going to be Eddie Howe, and I think that wouldn't be the worst appointment, even if he just plays the sort of style of football that we're looking for. So thank you all, and we'll speak and catch up with everyone next week, and we go again.
We do. Cheers, Mark.
Cheers, boys.
Thank you.
Cheers, mate. Thank you. Cheers.
Cheers.
Yeah.